Halloween hosting is not for the faint at heart, nor is it for the faint at stomach. Today, I want to show you 3 eerie but irresistible recipes that will both spook and satisfy even the most discerning dinner guest. I'm going to show you my positively potent poison apples, my blood red spider cider, and finally, some oven roasted brains that even Hannibal Lecter would approve of. Now let's get started with our positively potent poison apples. What I love about these apples is that they are a sinister twist on a classic candy apple. If you're new to candy making, it's actually really simple. So it starts with a whole lot of sugar. You want to use a pot that's relatively deep because candy does bubble and it can cause serious burns. To that, I'm going to add some water and some corn syrup. And finally, I have some pretty epic black gel food coloring. You can get this at most craft stores or at a bulk food store. Trust me when I tell you, a little of this stuff goes a long way. Now for this recipe, a candy thermometer is absolutely critical because basically what we want to do is boil this mixture until it reaches 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it reaches 300 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to turn off our heat and then dip our apples. I like leaving a little bit of the red showing because I think it creates a really beautiful effect. But you could completely cover these if you wanted them to be entirely black. As soon as they're set, they are ready to serve to all of your unsuspecting victims. I mean guests. Next up, I'm going to show you my blood red spider cider. The perfect drink for Halloween hosting because you can make it in a big batch and then let your guests help themselves. This recipe is really simple to put together. All we're going to do is combine some cranberry juice with some grape juice and then top it all off with some sparkling soda water. You could also top it off with some sparkling wine if that's the kind of party you're throwing. You also have the optional step of adding some cherry liqueur. I think it takes this spider cider right over the top. We're going to garnish this beautiful drink with some fresh cranberries. And of course, what spider cider would be complete without these 2 gigantic spider skeletons? Take my word for it, a little candlelight can go a long way in making this drink even creepier. And finally, for the main event, we've got our oven roasted brains, or cauliflower. We're getting started by steaming a big, beautiful head of cauliflower. The idea is to soften your cauliflower so it will take less time roasting in the oven. There you go. That guy is looking great. Now that our brain is getting soft and mushy, we can take it over and season it up. So we're just gonna get started by mixing some olive oil with our barbecue sauce. We're just trying to thin it out. We wanna make sure it's evenly covered because, you know, I am in a blood, guts, and gore mood this Halloween, as I'm sure you can tell. I'm going to apply this mixture all over my cauliflower head with a pastry brush, and then it's time to add some bloody brain veins. Now for this, I'm using some hot sauce in a squeeze bottle, but you could also use a different color barbecue sauce and achieve the same effect if you didn't want the heat. I'm simply going to trace out the curves in the cauliflower using my hot sauce. This is going to give us an awesome brain effect. I'm going to finish this off with a little salt and pepper, and then into the oven it goes at 375 for between 20 and 30 minutes. Once it's ready, it looks oh so creepy, but tastes oh so awesome. I'm garnishing my dish with some purple kale and radicchio and serving this glorious brain with some ribs and entrails. The perfect feast for the cannibals in your life. I really hope you'll give these ghoulish recipes a try, and if you do, be sure to tweet or Instagram me a photo because you know I love seeing what you're coming up with in your own haunted kitchens. And don't forget to check out these devilish DIYs, perfect for all of your Halloween hosting. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to The Domestic Geek because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.